Hey there! Today we're going to be talking about this pen, which Joost Appelboom, he sent me without me asking for it, and I opened it and I thought, what the hell is this? It's a box, it's like the size of a minivan, and inside was this very black pen, and this is a Waterman Man. And it's not just any man, it's the Man 140. They made a Man 100. Was it 100? I want to say 100. I'll show you a picture when I point the camera down. They did that when they were in business for 100 years. Now they're in business for 140 years. So it's not a recreation of that pen, but it does have some of the classic design icon details that Waterman uses. Waterman pens are nice pens. I find in Europe, where I used to live, you could walk into a lot of bookstores, they would sell fountain pens, and often they would sell Waterman. It's one of those brands. I don't know if Waterman has the most mind-blowing designs of pens in the world, but they're reliable writers. At the end of the day, it's what you buy a pen for. Now, this is a very high-end Waterman. This one will set you back 1,735 euros. I nearly dropped it. So there's a lot to talk about. I'm going to cover the parts of the pen, tell you what I like about it, what I don't like about it, then we'll do a writing sample. No, that was the old style. I'm going to show you the parts of the pen, we'll do a writing sample, and then I'll tell you what I like about it, what I don't like about it. Let's not waste any more time. Waterman Man. So when you send me a couple of pens, I open up the box, and then this slab came out. I can't overstate, this box is heavy. Now, it's also a box and a box and a box. Let me just very carefully open this up. It's not my property. So you first have this white outer sleeve, and then there is this big box that just says Waterman. This is cardboard. That's the first box. Actually, this is more than just a sleeve. It's an actual box. It closes on all sides. So then we have the secondary box. And then we have in there, oh, and it's so heavy, the tertiary box. And this is the Man 140 limited edition, which has this kind of cover on it, which is also kind of the texture of the pen, right? So that's awfully well chosen. Man 140 limited edition. This opens up. Here is the sleeve, which covers the tertiary box. And this is the tertiary box, which opens up like this. If there would be any other box, I would throw the whole thing out of the goddamn window. But anyway, we're not there, don't worry about it. Here we go. So, pen cover. Very cool little pen bed. Certificate of authenticity. This is number 48 out of 400. And then we have this booklet, which is pretty thick, a lot of information in it, and I really like the black paper. They've picked a theme, they stuck with it. We have 8 cartridges, Noir Intense. This is intense black, and that's all there's to it. I'm not going to try to reassemble that box because we're going to be here for the rest of the afternoon. I'm just going to put it out of my way, and then I will show you the pen. God, so much stuff. Okay, the pen. Here we go. Now, I had promised you to show you the original Man 100. So here, let me just open this book. Here we have Peter Twidle's excellent book on fountain pens. This is also in Fountain Pens of the World, that kind of stuff. But that's a very expensive book. This is very affordable. If you want to read more about fountain pens, check out this book. So here we have the Waterman Man 100 in brown wood and made in 1992. Peter Twidle says probably the most collectible of the later models. So if you want to get into Waterman collecting, there you go. The particular Man 100, 1983, and then a couple of years later there was the Man 200. But this is the Man 140 because now they're in business 140 years. Let's cover the parts of this pen. So zooming in, black pen, Pilot Metropolitan, larger pen, especially in length. It's not particularly girthy, but especially in length. You see that interesting overlay, which was also kind of the texture of the sleeve of the tertiary box, right? That's what the pen looks like. I don't know how well the camera picks it up on the pen, but this is what the pen looks like and what it feels like. So, pen, to commemorate the 140 years of being in business, right? 2023 was the 140th birthday of Waterman. 400 of these pens were made, more or less an homage to the original Man 100. It has black PVD trims. It has a fenced wave pattern. It has the iconic two-pronged clip that you see on many, many Waterman pens. It is hand-assembled in France, and it has fine or medium nibs, 18 karat gold, but with both gold and ruthenium two-tone, which is interesting. Often two-tone is gold and a silver color. This is gold and black color, which looks very cool, and I'll show you in just a second. Hang in there. Price, €1,735.54. Remember the Appelboom discount code on my website if you want one, because of this kind of price that starts to make a difference. Let's talk about the parts of the pen. Obviously, a lot of black, nearly dropped it, and then we have the gold Waterman logo on top there, which I think is quite nice. The two-pronged clip, very nice and springy. We have that nice wave pattern. I'm just going to try and rotate it at a reasonable speed so you can actually see it. That marks both cap and barrel. That was kind of good lighting, I felt, to show you that. It looks neat. I'm not sure if it's fully my thing, but it's cool. We have a center band that says Waterman on one side and on the other side France. Again, this one handmade, or at least hand assembled, which is not the same thing, in France. We have the barrel, tapers down ever so slightly to this point. There is kind of a rib there, I don't know how well you can see that. Cap pops off and pops onto the back for very solid posting. Big pen posted. Unposted, still big pen. Again, especially in length, not so much in girth. Section tapers down, has some interesting shape going on there, and then you have that very cool nib. I love the way it looks. I'll zoom in a little bit. There will be high-res pictures on the website. But the gold with the ruthenium, I think, looks very, very neat. The nib says Waterman Ideal, which is a nice throwback. Paris, it says 18K 750 for the gold content, and France, and then it has this interesting feed shape. Like I said, fine and medium nibs. This is the medium. Waterman is kind enough to mark the feeds. I don't know how well you can see this, but there is an M there. Unscrew the barrel, and then you see the converter. Waterman is kind of proprietary, but you can use standard international long cartridges in it, so it's kind of sort of proprietary. Nice shape and size of pen. Let's see how it writes. Okay. This is medium, I said 18K. And the ink is just Waterman Serenity Blue. A lovely writer, nice and smooth, very, very pleasant to use. Very smooth, very pleasant. I really like it. For that price, it should be really nice. On the wetter end of things, nib definitely round, but like I said, solid writer, does not skip, and it is nice because I have seen that work out another way, that on a pen of this price it writes well, right? Nice bigger nib, looks like it will be about number 6, but actually writes. It's not just a collector's piece that you put in your desk. It doesn't actually write. It out of the box, beautiful writer. So I really think they deserve props for that. Line variation, this is not my property and it's very expensive, so very careful, but you can certainly squeeze out a little bit of line variation, but be very careful. It's not a flex nib and it's not advertised as such. For those who enjoy such a thing, reverse writing, not really possible. Gets very scratchy. It does keep going, but it gets very scratchy. You can see here it's picking up some paper fiber. Don't do that thing. It doesn't work well for this particular pen. But beautiful writer otherwise. I really, really like it. And if it was not that expensive, I might consider buying it, but there's no way I'm spending this much on that particular pen. Let's talk in that vein about likes and dislikes. What do I like? What do I not like about the Waterman Man? Black pens are not for everyone, but there is a whole society devoted to them. This is a very cool pen, I think. The overlay with that sort of weaved basket style stuff, I'm not sure if it's really my thing, but I think it's a cool thing. It looks different from a lot of other pens that I've seen, so I like that. Hand assembled in France. I think it's a cool design. It's a Waterman. It's a solid writer. They write nicely. Their gold nibs are really quite nice. A lot of their pens are entry-level pens. I say that without any judgment. I've had many in my time. They come with steel nibs. Even their steel nibs are quite nice, but their gold nibs really are pretty good. So that's something you can really try if you ever have a chance. Maybe, I know this is very expensive, but even on their other pens, the Carène, for example, also expensive, not as expensive as this. Lovely writers. Good writer, cool design, black pen. I love the ruthenium on the nib. Like seriously, the two-tone with ruthenium, it just looks really, really cool with that darkness. I love the overall design. It's a nice, good size pen, post lovely, but there is a downside. It's 1,700 euros. It's very expensive. Now I think in this case you have to be frank. It's a limited edition of 400. That's actually pretty limited. It's a special edition pen they have made. This is aiming at collectors, people who really love Waterman, who want to buy one. This is not necessarily something you'd buy for everyday use, even though you could. It's a very cool writer. It's a special segment of the market, right? Geared towards collectors, and that's just the way it is. There's no further need to debate that. This is not meant for, you buy a pen once as a corporate gift, something. It's special. And I think that's really neat. So it does feel cool. They have certainly put in the effort. You have to give them that. It looks really neat with that overlay. Would I spend this amount of money on it? No, I would not. And that's because I'm not a Waterman collector. But if I was, I could see the appeal. And it's a cool writer, so I could certainly see people doing it. I just won't. But if you want it, it's going to be on my website, because I then sell them. So that might be an economical way of getting one. Having said that, that was not meant as a plug. I mean, do whatever you want, but it's a cool pen. It's cool, but it's very expensive. I hope this was useful. A very kind thank you to Joost for lending me this pen and trusting me with this. I'm terrified I'm going to drop this, so I'm going to put it down. I hope this was useful. At least we got some eye candy in it. I'll gladly see you later. Bye.